Welcome to another edition of First and 10 with Rams head coach Brad Sherrod. I'm Jimmy the St. Christopher. Coach, first of all, congratulations from everybody at Texas Wesleyan to you, your staff, and the players for 10-0 in the regular season, clinching the SAC, the Sooner Athletic Conference title outright, and the first playoff appearance for Rams in their modern-day history. For all of that, congratulations.
Well, thank you. The credit really goes to the players and the staff. They did an incredible job this past year and just kind of keeping it all together and staying humble. So the credit goes to the players for sure because they wanted to have to play the game, but the staff did a great job.
Hey, how surprised were you that you went undefeated?
Yeah, you never expect to go undefeated. You know how hard that is to do. But after you look back on the season, you look back how we practiced and how we played, I'm not surprised. You can see it now how it all happened, but it was a surprise that we were to do that. But we always wanted to win the conference. That was always our goal, to win it outright, and so that we can have this opportunity to go to the playoffs. And so there's no questions about who's getting in and who's not. We wanted to make sure we secured our spot there. So that was always our goal at the beginning of the year.
At what point, if there was any, during the season, did you think you had a shot at going undefeated?
Well, you know, every week was different, and any team really, even though we had some high-scoring games, we knew we were going to face some good opponents as we went through. I knew Wesleyan was going to be good. We knew Iowa was going to be good, along with Langston and Louisiana College. So any of those games could have flipped either way. It's just that we were able to stay mature in those situations, those games that were a little bit tighter in the first half and pull it out. So I could see that those guys were really into getting this done and accomplishing this goal.
And as you know, and you just said it, it's real hard to stay focused on, you know, a game at a time, a practice during that week, the game coming up. But how hard was it to stay present when you started getting toward the end and had a shot at 10-0? How hard is it to stay present for a game coming up?
You know, I was telling somebody this morning, you know, we're 10-0, and I don't think I really have sat back and like, wow, we're 10-0. It's just the mentality of going to work every day and having fun while you're doing it. And I wanted to keep the kids focused on that. So constantly have to remind them of that. But I'm going to tell you that this group has really been humble. And I think last year kind of stuck with them a little bit when they didn't get in. And I think they understood, man, we have to win the conference outright and to get into the playoffs. So they stayed focused. The seniors have done a great job of helping us keep everyone focused on what we need to get done. And I don't believe there's ever been a practice that we've shown up and guys weren't focused and about their job and about what they needed to do. Although we still had fun, those guys were focused on the job, on the mission at hand.
Who are you surprised by on all three facets of offense, defense, and special teams? Who surprised you most in those areas?
Well, I mean, the year that Ernest has had is unbelievable. To see him accomplish the things that he's accomplished with the line, offensive line that's not very experienced, he did a great job for us. I just think our whole offense with Carson and Bob and TJ and Banks did an incredible job of making plays when they were supposed to make plays. And then defensively, I thought they came together as a group and created some turnovers and created some opportunities for our offense. So I'm just happy with the entire group, and I'm not surprised about the way they practice. I'm not surprised about how we played.
And if you could recap the season for us, and what did you like and what do you think needs to be improved?
Well, I haven't had a chance to sit down and really go back and evaluate everything that needs to improve. I'm sure there's some areas I still want to be better at stopping the run on defense. I still want to be able to do that. And I think we need to be better in that area. But overall depth of the team and talent of the team, we need to keep improving. You know, we need to add to the pieces that we have. And we think we have some pretty good young pieces that aren't playing and some that are playing. And we just need to continue to keep adding talent to the group and continue to keep developing that. So we have a deeper bench in a lot of areas. And I think that's something that we need the recruiting to help us take care of.
Let's grab a break and hear from our friends at NTB. We'll be back with more First and 10 after this timeout.
We are Texas Wesleyan University, serving Fort Worth since 1890.
And we are NBT Financial Bank, serving North Texas since 1973.
We provide customized degree programs to help you succeed in today's market.
And we provide personalized service and financial tools to help you grow your business and your accounts.
We believe in smaller, smarter.
And we believe in exceeding expectations. NBT and Texas Wesleyan, two Fort Worth traditions, teaming up
To build tomorrow's leaders.
Welcome back to First and 10 with Rams head coach Brad Sherrod. Coach, how much of a factor was it when you took the job? How much of a factor was that you had the talent that you had here already? I mean, I have a whole list here. I won't go through the whole thing because there'll probably be half of the team, but Ernie Caesar, Carson Rogers, Dalen Rogers, Jay Reed, Javari Sanders, Jason Price, Arian Bott, Sir Hill, Zeno Marcuscelli, and Daniel I. Bogan. But how much of a factor was that, having that nucleus of players that led you to accepting the job?
Well, the opportunity to be a head coach is really intrigued me, and I don't know if I really looked at the depth of it, of who was on the team, but the opportunity. I knew they've had success here before I got here, so I thought we could, just looking back, and I looked at the stats of where we were good at and who were our players, I knew we had a chance to have another good team. And that's just added, that was just gravy on top of, if you want to say, to be the head coach of a place that has a lot of experience coming back. And our offense at the time was only scoring 42 points a game, which I thought was a lot. I think we're scoring close to 60 now. So I knew we could be good on offense, and defensively we could just continue to keep improving and getting better. That would be good on defense as well.
Who are some of the new recruits that stood out?
Well, really on our defensive line, we got Van Sant down there that's kind of come on as a freshman. And I thought our defensive line has done a great job of developing. We started the year off with maybe 3 or 4 guys. I think now we have 6 to 7 guys that can actually play for us. So offensive line-wise, we've improved in that area with some younger guys, with Hunter Schultz down there, and he's helping us get better. I think Pola as our center has helped us get a lot better as well. So we've grown in those 2 major areas, our front, and gotten better there. And to me, I think that's where it all starts, with our front, our offense and defensive line.
Playoffs ready to start. We're taping this prior to the first round of the playoffs. We'll get into that here in a little bit. But the Rams finished 7th, not the final NAIA poll yet, but they were 7th in the top 25. They were seeded 8th. What was going through your mind when you were watching the selection party the other night? Was there a party at your house, big party for everybody?
No, we had a big showing here on campus with some supporters and administrators and players and people that, the students that wanted to come out and participate. It was exciting. You kind of don't know where you're going to end up. Even though you're 7th by the polls, you never know where they're going to rank you within the coaches, with the selection committee. But to see that we were 8th was a good surprise for us. Do you always want to be a little higher? Yes, but we're happy to be at 8th for our first time in the playoffs, and it's a credit to our players. And I wanted to give them the credit and that night and just make sure they understand this happened because of the work they put in.
And there's 8 teams that played in the first round this weekend. When this airs, it'll probably be concluded and the Rams will know who they play. But this weekend in the first round, there'll be 4 games. The early starts are number 16 Friends against number 17 Ottawa, and we all are familiar with the Spirit. And then Southwestern against St. Francis is the other early game. There's a 1 o'clock game, that's Baker, their 13th seed against 20 seed Pikeville. Now Pikeville won their conference, but they finished 5-5, so they got the automatic bid, and a 5-5 team, which will be playing at Baker, Kansas. And then Dickinson State is the 2 o'clock game. They play Kansas Wesleyan. So then they'll reseed, I guess the 12 teams that didn't play in the first round, including the Rams, and they'll add the 4 winners from this weekend's game, and then they'll reseed that. Is that kind of weird to you, to reseed after having 12 teams that got the first round bye, but then reseeding the whole 16 teams?
Well, it's definitely different. You used to being in a bracket system where you kind of knew who you were going to play based off who won and who lost, so you kind of used to a bracket system. But it makes sense when it comes to cost of travel and putting teams against, so it does make sense they would do that to have a better matchup financially.
How would you approach then the week starting on Monday, the week before? How do you approach it? You approach it just like, hey, this is a regular season game, or
Talking about
this
the
is
week
the
of
first
the
round
game?
of the playoffs?
Talking about the week of the game?
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to treat it like a normal week. You know, we're going to practice on Sunday, give them Monday off, and go at Tuesday, Wednesday. Now this week we're practicing this week too, the off week. So the bye week we're practicing. So we're going 4 days this week and getting some good work in. And we're going to be who we are. We're not going to change what we do. We're going to do what we do. That's how we got here. And to go in there and start changing everything makes no sense. And it doesn't make sense to our kids. So we're going to do the things that we do, to keep our philosophy. We're not going to change that. And just continue to keep doing what we do and do it better.
And as Coach mentioned, the Rams, the number one team in all of the NAIA in scoring, almost 60 points a game. It's like 55 and a half, 56 around there. And then Ernie Caesar, 39 touchdowns this season in those 10 games, is tops in the NAIA. So being the highest scoring team with Ernie running for all those scores, is there more of a bullseye on the Rams' back, you think?
Well, I think every team that you face that's in the playoffs is a good football team. And I don't think there's going to be any soft teams we face. But I'm sure we understand that they're going to try to go in there and stop Ernie because he makes the team go. I mean, you can run the football, you can pass the football. But I think our kids have been facing that all year, you know. So, and we've been able to accomplish some things and run the football, which opened up the passing game for Carson and our receivers. So that philosophy is not going to change. We're going to find a way to run the football and to give ourselves a chance to win the ball game.
In the first two games of the regular season, Lindsey Wilson, Kentucky, which was in the top 25 last year, the Rams handled them at Crowley ISD to open the season. In the second game, they went out to Phoenix and played Ottawa, the Spirit, and that was the closest game the Rams played this season. They won 35-33, but I know that's distant because it was the first two games of the season, but how much did that help the team, you think? Almost being in a playoff game like that from the get-go in those first two games, how much did that help?
Well, I'm sure that helped early on with the rest of the season as we went through the season. Playing a team like Lindsey Wilson, who's had a lot of experience in the playoffs, they were ranked. To go in there and play the physical brand of football we wanted to play, I think that really showed the kids they could play at that level. And then beating a team like Ottawa, they beat them 2 years in a row here. I think that once again showed them they have a chance to go on the road and win a tough ball game. So those things you have to be able to do. If you want to get to where you want to be at the end of the season, you're going to have to be able to beat the better teams at home and go on the road and beat them. And I think our kids have the confidence that we can get that done. Now, it's about the work you put in during the week to get there and to make sure we're doing, everyone's going to make mistakes. It's who makes the least mistakes during this time of year and who can capitalize on those mistakes.
So we will know the Rams' opponent after the games, the 8 teams that play 4 games on Saturday, November 23rd. Shortly after that, they'll reseed, and the Rams should know by then, late that Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening, who they're going to face in the second round of the playoffs of the NAIA. I'm not going to say playoffs, but the NAIA Football Championship. They didn't even have a bracket yet. You're used to seeing brackets, but didn't have one for this. But anyway, so the Rams will know who they'll play in the second round after the games are completed on the first round on Saturday, the 23rd. And the 30th, Saturday, November 30th, that's when the Rams will host a second round game. We won't know who that will be until after Saturday sometime. But Coach, go get them, get some sleep, get your players some rest, and go coach them up, and we'll do our usual Rams up, go Rams. Keep that winning streak going. Let's go 11-0 and get to the third round of the playoffs. For Coach Brad Sherrod, for Kenneth Flowers, for James McBride, his assistant Aaron, Jimmy the St. Christopher saying, talk to you next time on First and 10.